Hi, welcome to Edward Box Guitar Tuition. So my classic album inspection today is Judas Priest's Angel of Retribution from 2005. Released February 23rd, it's 20 years old, so one of the younger albums I'm doing in this series I've done. Got to put it out, obviously people know I'm a massive Priest fan, so I was absolutely gagging for this album. When Rob Halford rejoined, it was just like, he's back. The sense of anticipation was kind of unlike anything I've experienced ever, really, if I'm honest. Interestingly enough, I actually got an advanced copy of this, so somehow a guy who's a good mate of my brother's, used to know and still know, back in the day, had got a hold of it, and he did a copy on CD and posted it up for me, so I got it about a month before. He actually printed the cover off as well. Don't know how he did that, don't know how it got out there, but anyway, I remember the flat I was living in. I just went upstairs flat, went in a small office I used, put it on the hi-fi and just sat on the floor waiting for it to come in. So I'm going to go through it and just try and capture what I thought of it at the time, but then I'll talk about what I think about it now. At the time I must have played this 25-30 times off the bat. I was just obsessed with it. So I remember seeing the titles for the tracks were issued on the website, and even that was exciting because you got a song called Judas Rising. I just couldn't think of a better title for a Priest song. So anyway, the track Judas Rising, I put it on, and then there's the kind of tribute to Victim of Change's intro. It comes fading in, and what first struck with this track, it was kind of heavy, hard hitting, and Rob in fine form. A powerful track, a powerful opener. It set the scene. It grabbed me pretty quickly. Then we went into the next track, Deal with the Devil, and I just kind of hit the roof with this. It was just absolutely classic right off the bat to me. Fantastic lyrics, just about Priest back in the day. I just loved it. Great guitar, great lyrics. Driving down the M-way, took it to the smoke. Banged our heads while metal flowed. Brilliant. Just loved it. Then Revolution, I suppose on first listening, this was kind of like the United take on the World track in a way, but not as We Will Rock You. Catchy track, I liked it. Same for Worth Fighting For. That was kind of more like a commercial track off of Screaming or Defenders or Point of Entry. And then Demonizer was the next track that really jumped out. Really heavy track, amazing vocals by Rob. The year after the album came out, I went to the Royal Albert Hall to see the Teenage Cancer Trust gig that Priest did with the Scorpions. And someone in the queue was going, Demonizer! Which is great. So all those tracks were over 4 minutes, apart from Deal with the Devil, just under 4. But good lengths, good solid arrangements. Then I suppose kind of side to the second half of the album, Wheels of Fire, which is just a little catchy sort of gem of a track, again fitting in with a kind of turbo Defenders, more commercial vibe of Priest. Furious 41, and then Angel. Obviously, the Angel of Retribution title was referencing Sad Wings, and I suppose the track Angel was referencing that classic imagery. In actual fact, on first listen, you could pick out lyrics that were referring to Priest's past triumphs, so to speak. Angel, really good 423. And then a Hellrider, this was like a heavy, epic track. Brilliant fade in of Kaker down his little tap piece where they've, taken the frequencies out and kind of sucked it out and it kind of creeps in. Really good. And then you had Eulogy, a little piano piece. Again, sort of mirroring a track like Prelude, but with singing. And again with little lyrical references. So that brought us to Loch Ness. So when I saw the track listing, I was like, oh, Loch Ness. So if you don't, for people who don't live in the UK, obviously Loch Ness is in Scotland, so part of Great Britain. The Loch Ness Monster, to me, it's a mythical monster. It's always been I always imagine it as quite benign. It's like one of those dinosaurs in Jurassic Park that's eating the leaves. They're big, but they're not going to hurt you. So the idea that Loch Ness is going to create this kind of scary heavy metal song, I would have done a song about the Kraken, like the Kraken awakes, or awaken the Kraken. If you said Clash of the Titans, that would be good. So anyway, that track, yeah, you know, very long, but ridiculous lyrics, but really good riffing, quite adventurous. So right from the start, I sort of really embraced this album, and I just played it. And at the time, I remember thinking, oh, maybe this is a 9 out of 10. I was like, maybe this is better than, you know, Killing Machine. At that time, my top Priest albums, number 1 was Sad Wings, 2 was Screaming, 3 was British Steel, 4 was Stained Class. Killing Machine and Least and Least were kind of 5 or 6. And then it would be kind of Surf to Sin, Point of Entry, I reckon. Since then, I'm kind of more of a 70s man. They take pride of place, and then the British Steel are Screaming. Firepower. So with this, it really was punching up there. Like I say, I got obsessed, you know, with it. I was getting really back in, seeking out more traditional metal, and you know, started writing and started a more traditional metal band up, kind of really on the back of just getting inspired by Priest being back, I suppose. So it was very, you know, it was a big thing for me, really like a potent thing in my life. So at the time, the reviews were good. It won the Metal Hammer Award Album of the Year. Classic Rock, Jeff Barton slagged it because of Loch Ness, so he liked the album, but he knocked a star off. He only gave it 3 stars. Now, I remember thinking that was really unfair. You know, Maiden had been kind of fated on their return with 5-star reviews for Brave New World and Dance of Death. And, you know, Priest had never quite had that love that Maiden, and well, certainly Maiden and Sabbath, proper Sabbath, you know, Ozzy Sabbath, Dio Sabbath have had. So I was quite angry about that. I remember feeling sort of like the injustice, because I thought the album, you know, should have been getting at least 4, maybe 5 stars. So what do I feel now about it? You know, the production was a good move getting Roy Z in. Roy Z had done a fine job with Resurrection album. He'd done great work with Bruce Dickinson. And I suspect Rob Halford was instrumental in that. The Demolition and Juggulator albums, although sounded pretty potent, it needed an extra set of ears. It's quite raw, this album. It's got a good drum sound. The guitars are kind of bristly. It is heavy and powerful, the production. Rob gives a really good vocal performance. I think the guitar solos are decent. They're not the standard. There were KK and Glenn on this, you know, up until all the way up to Painkiller, including that was his progression in the soloing. And you could, from sort of Stained Class album in particular, you could pick out great solos all the way through. And then it kind of went off the boil with the Ripper era. But it's still enjoyable. Could still do a bit more KK. Yeah, so looking at it now, Judas Rising's a really, really powerful opener. Still a powerful opener. The band still plays it live. But a good mate of mine, he sort of points out that he finds the drum pattern frustrating on that. I can see that. It's kind of like a tank. You know, the emphasis that Scott Travis has gone for. It creates something heavy, but it hasn't got momentum. When I read the title Judas Rising, I'm just thinking of something Priest coming out, all guns blazing, you know, with a fast track, you know, and like a huge chorus. Oh, as someone commented on a mate's post. Yeah, so really good track. I do like it. Deal with the Devil, still amazing, still like loads of fun. Just love the lyrics, love the vibe it creates, the emotion it stirs in me. Revolution, I think now it seems very filler to me. It's a catchy track. It's decent. It just seems to lack a bit of spark, and I would say the same for Worth Fighting For. These tracks feel like Pain and Pleasure or Fever or something like that, or what would it be off Screaming? I mean, not Screaming, I mean Defenders. You know, one of the lesser tracks. They're decent, but they kind of come too early in the album. It feels like we need more firepower. Demonizer's still great, really heavy, one of the heaviest tracks the band done, really cool riffage on it. Certainly takes a big journey in its 4 minutes 35 seconds. Then you got Wheels of Fire, a track I really enjoy. I really like the chorus guitar sound. It's just a simple track. The band's not trying to do anything massively adventurous on this, but it's just got really solid elements. The riff's simple but effective. Rob does a really good vocal, a simple bridge, and then a simple chorus. Priest have always been good at writing pre-choruses, actually, and this is no exception. You got Angel, lovely ballad. The only thing I don't like on this is Glenn does a guitar line in it where he kind of gets a little bit of an artifact, little kind of clicky sound, and I just found that distracting on that little lead break after the first chorus. It'd just be better if it was cleaner for me, maybe less gain, make it a little sweeter. You got Hellrider, still excellent, still got an excellent intro from KK. Really powerful when that power chord comes in. I mean, it's fucking epic. Heavy riffing. Eulogy, nice little piece, not great, but feels it's leading to something. And then you have Loch Ness. So Loch Ness, the lyrics I just think are ridiculous. Loch Ness, confess your terror of the deep. Loch Ness, distress malingers what you keep. It's too long. It's kind of, what's the word? It's kind of like a premonition of what happened on Nostradamus, which is an album I actually like and enjoy, of stuff being a bit too long, a bit too mid-tempo. Lots of atmosphere on this. That middle section, it breaks down, you got the harmonics, and it's quite ethereal. But it just needed some trimming, and it kind of needs it needs to be a different metal monster. So I think this album now, I think it's sort of tipping to a solid 8 out of 10. If someone said like it's a 7, 7.5, I would understand that. I feel like Judas Rising's got a tiny little flow of those drums, Deal the Devil's great. Revolution worth fighting for the canny, but they don't feel essential to me. Demonizer's great, Wheels of Fire is good fun. Angels, really nice ballad. Hellrider, fucking epic. Eulogy's like sort of passing time in a nice way, but there you get Loch Ness. Here's a weird one again. Maybe this would have been better. It's interesting. Album's 52 minutes and 37 seconds long. So if you take Loch Ness off, it's only 39 minutes. So if Priest just did another 4 or 5 minute track, this just would have belted through. There's a part of me thinks that opening with Eulogy might have been interesting. Imagine that. They open with a soft atmospheric track, but the lyrics are kind of talking about the audience, and it's almost like Priest returning to the stage and then going in, you know, maybe Judas Rising or something. Sounds a bit of a mad idea, I don't know. Yeah, I think a slightly different running order and a trimmed Loch Ness or just something different. But I do really like this album. You know, I've got a deep affection for it. But where it would be in my all-time Priest now, it would be, you know, outside the top 10, top 12. I would certainly pick the albums from Sad Wings all the way through to Painkiller, that includes Point of Entry, as being superior to me. And I actually prefer Nostradamus, which will come as a shock. The reason for that is, for all its faults aside, when it's very good, I think it's really adventurous and really good. This album's adventurous at times, other times it's not as sure. But it was a good comeback album. So that's my take on this Angel Retribution. Just looking at the reviews here, it's kind of 3 stars, 4 stars, some are 9. This seemed to be, you know, that was a kind of take on this album. Yeah, okay, so remember, share and subscribe, and I'll see you again. Thanks so much.